So what was the road that finally brought you here to AEW? Because we mentioned this being, and also it was a Vince creation, Hall of Pain, because he's the one who kind of instilled
Yeah, it was
in you.
his.
So that always helps as well. So what kind of started, and whether it was 5 years ago, whether it was 5 months ago, when did you start thinking maybe it's time to make a change?
When I retired, I thought that I was going to be an employee of the WWE. Like that at some point, I was going to be, somebody that had an influence on the business. And it's hot as hell in your room,
I can
Chris.
see you sweating. I just want to get some paper towels for you.
Chris is such a gentleman and a hospitable human being. He went and got me a couple of paper towels so I can wipe the sweat. And because I feel like I'm on Oprah's couch.
If you were a tree, what would you be?
Asking the hard questions.
The hard ones.
But I was like, I want to be an executive. Like, I know enough about this business in every facet of it. And there were people that were in jobs in talent development and people that were in jobs in talent relations and people in jobs in corporate that I knew the business better than them, and I had a way of, fostering relationships. That's been the number one thing that I've been able to accomplish in my life more than anything else, is I foster good relationships with people, and people realize that I'm not a screw up, that I'm going to do stuff that's going to be well thought out, and that is going to benefit kids, because that's where my heart is I want kids to have experiences. And the WWE was just not, they were not at a place where they wanted to hire me for that. And I asked, I wrote it up. I spent months on, putting together a 2-year plan of events. I was like, what else can I do? I was like, I just had to call and say, hey man, like I'm going to start looking for work because, I know what I can do well, and I don't feel like I'm valued in that capacity. And when I got the no, it didn't come from Vince or it didn't come from Brad Blum. It came from Johnny, who was an employee. It's not his place to tell me no. Like, if the duties got delegated to somebody that is not their job to tell me, then it's over. You got to know when the door has been closed.
Yeah.
It's like people in, I got a buddy of mine, man, bless his heart. He going through a divorce, and he had all the signs 5 years ago, but he just wouldn't leave. He just wouldn't. It wasn't him, it was her. And that's how I feel. It felt like a divorce, man. It was painful. Like, I love people over there. Like, man, just the thought of not seeing people like Chimmel and, and Sean Selman in the production office, like, it hurt me. Them people like family to me.
Yeah.
And, not to mention, people in the office and the talent. Like, they like our brothers.
Yeah.
And, but if I can't work there, I got 2 kids. They go to private school. Costs a lot of money. I got to stay I'm only 50. I can't get my retirement and tax shelter annuity until I'm 53. So I have to work until at least until I'm 53 before I can get my money. Chris, I want my cheese. But I feel a lot of joy in talking to Darby Allin and talking to Hobbs and mentoring them guys and Dante and like all these people that have come up to me. They came to me and was like, man, just tell me what you see. And that's the beauty of this business. People are already over, but everybody wants to be more over. And I'm going to do everything I can while I'm here to get those people to be you. Like, you're going to have some competition in the next 2 to 3 years. You watch. I don't bullshit around.
You just hit something, the nail on the head that I went through, too, at a different level of, like you said, when you're not hearing no from the top and somebody's getting delegated, then you got to read the room and know that it's over.
It's over.
That happened to me when Tony and AW started becoming a thing. And I'll give the due diligence and talk to WWE, but it was never It was one guy that just kind of jobbed me out, but it wasn't Vince. Then Vince didn't get back to me. I'm like, Vince has that yellow legal pad. You've seen it. That's where he writes stuff down.
Everything.
And if he wants to talk to Mark Henry or Chris Jericho, and it's 3:30 in the morning,
He's gonna call you.
And if you don't answer, he'll say, "Call me when you get up," and he'll be up at 6:30. And that's when I started realizing that they don't care if I'm here or not. Now they do. They care now. But at the time, it's like, oh, let them go to this new place.
Because you're moving the needle.
Because you're moving the needle. But I don't think they thought that at the time. Just like with you. Maybe Mark Henry, in their opinion, is not executive material. And you're like me. Okay, just watch me. You know what I mean? You guys need people like you. They said, no, we, AEW, need someone like you. And it's going to go through the roof, whatever it is that you're doing here and whatever you decide to do and whatever. So that's something, because you have that deep inside of you instilled. Like you said, you don't like losing. You don't like, and that to me, same with me and WWE, was a loss when I wasn't getting the calls from the boss and getting calls from other people, and they were nonchalant, wishy-washy. And I was like, I know my time is done here. It seems like you felt the same way.
It was identical, 100%. Like, I knew that it was over, and people got to read the room, and that's something that I've been blessed to be able to do in my life, is the segue from one thing to the other. And powerlifting led me to Olympic weightlifting, and Olympic weightlifting led me to wrestling. And then I went to strongman, and then I went back to wrestling. And like, you got to know when to make the leaps and bounds to other things to keep you alive. And my kids mostly keep me alive, like just wanting to work for them. But I can't be selfish and just give all that to my kids. Like, everybody, kids need me, because I really love kids. And if it's my passion to go and help kids, then I need to go help them. Otherwise, I'm slapping God in the face. And you can't live with that.
Right.
Like, so, my Mark Henry Strong Kids program did real well. Like, I'm helping kids to get exposure to things that they wouldn't have never gotten exposure to do. And in the guys, I say kids here because a lot of these people are 20 years old, 25 years old. I was talking to Dante. He just graduated high school.